Recruiting, though. Golly, did you think this week could get any bigger? I guess today's a new week, though, so... Yeah. Do you think this week can get any bigger? Obviously, last week you had a lot of excitement. What was the final number? How many commits in how many days?
So I guess if you count today as the 7th day.
Okay.
So a full week, you get 7 commits in 7 days.
Wow. Two of those are Tyon Evans and Terrence Lewis, who committed on what day, dude? My days.
Thursday?
I think it was Thursday. My days are so off. I believe it was Thursday. And then today, you have four-star Cody Brown. He's out of Georgia. What school?
Parkview.
Parkview. That's right. And 3-star safety, defensive back, De'Shawn Rucker commit. And
Miami.
From Miami. You mentioned his times. What were they again?
So his 100 meter is 10.7.
He's a fast dude. I think this is a guy. I hope we can hang on to him when this happens, while this happens. I feel like you should see that 3-star shift to.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to. I mean, look at his offer list. Yeah. He was considered a Clemson lead.
I was about to say, didn't he have a crystal ball to Clemson like yesterday?
Yeah, stole that. No, not yesterday. It's been there for a little bit.
Well, I just mean.
Oh, yeah,
it was there yesterday.
Yeah, yes. But his offer is Alabama, Auburn, Clemson, Florida State, LSU. He's not from Miami. He's from Tallahassee. Sorry.
Tallahassee.
LSU, Maryland, Miami, South Carolina. So just about every SEC school has offered this kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would imagine he'll go up a little bit. Watching his film.
So I mentioned earlier that I loved one of these recruits.
Oh, you loved him,
dude. De'Shawn Rucker hits people harder than they probably. He's probably gonna. If he's at Tennessee, guys, we should just expect him to get ejected from a couple games. And you know what? It's gonna suck. But he's also, from what I can tell, he's gonna be playing really hard and he's gonna be hitting people really hard.
Yeah.
And I said it, when all these commits rolling in, like, it looks like Jeremy Pruitt's mantra for these guys is very clear, because there's not one guy who's committed to Tennessee that is not running hard downhill and hitting people hard, whether he's running the football or defending. They are.
This whole roster transformation is just incredible. From you have guys, and Juwan Jennings was great, but he also ran like a 4.9.
Right.
Like a 4.8, 4.9, something like that. Slow, 4.7. You're getting guys bigger, faster, stronger. And I know in high school, our coaches always said, "Are you getting faster? Are you getting stronger? This, and this." And we kind of always laughed about it. It's coming to Tennessee right now.
Yeah.
Is this whole roster overhaul, if you will. You're getting guys that run legit 4.3, 4.4 40s. You're getting guys that are a lot bigger. I mean, you're getting backs that are 225. We barely had offensive linemen at 260 2 years ago. Right. Just a complete shift in the type of players that we're recruiting.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, this is just another DB from, you get him out of Tallahassee, and Florida State wanted him. I don't think he was recruited very heavily by Willie Taggart, but Norvell really wanted him. And you steal him away from them. You steal him away from Auburn. Auburn's just taking a beating from Tennessee right now.
They better start finding some new guys on their board, or they're not going to have guys.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have to keep going down the board to find some that Tennessee's not wanting.
Yeah, if Tennessee takes another commit, they're going to probably be charged with theft.
Yeah. But this kid's a former basketball player, does the long jump, like I said, does the 100-meter 4x1. He returns kicks, plays offense, kind of does it all. Kind of an athlete, I guess. Just somebody that is probably a safety when he gets to Tennessee, but also a guy that they could use in a bunch of different places.
And I mentioned he has a few plays where he's playing up in the box or up at the line of scrimmage, so maybe like a star position, if that is something that they could see him playing. He is 5'10". I don't know what spectrum you see that as height-wise, because in the secondary it's rarely a bother. But, depending on guys you have on the outside, that may be a guy you see kind of stuck in at that star position.
Yeah.
Potentially. Another guy recruited by Derek Ansley. Chalk one up to the good guy again.
God, he's killing it.
Yep. We know who the bag man is.
Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
Let's mute that.
Drop it.
Looking at Cody Brown. though. 4-star at a Parkview High School. We've kind of been talking about him for a while. You've liked him to Tennessee for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've really been I feel like he's been talked about consistently talking about him since he played since you saw him play against Harrison Bailey.
Yeah, so in the semifinals, the Georgia State playoffs, we saw him play against Marietta, which is Harrison Bailey. And he played against the defense with Eric Gilbert. Who was the other one? He decommitted from Tennessee. I can't remember. But he ended up going to LSU as well. So 2 guys that were Power 5 guys. They had guys in the secondary that were going to Power 5 programs and rushed for 200 yards. And a guy that had been on campus. I think he's friends with Harrison Bailey. So, that's kind of why I liked him to Tennessee. I mean, it's going to be hard to get him from Auburn, especially when we lost to Georgia State and BYU. And gosh, I don't even want to bring that up. But, yeah.
I do want to bring that up real quick because there's people talking trash on the stream, and this is the only thing I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna respond to your trash talk. I am going to warn you that if you were trash talking and you lost to Butch Jones, not once but twice, maybe 3 times. I don't even know what team you cheer for. Potentially 3 times. You can't talk trash to us because I don't care if I've lost to Georgia State. I don't care if I've lost to Wyoming. I don't care if I went to overtime with UAB. My team has never lost to a Butch Jones coach ball team. So,
sure.
Bye. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I mean, this kid's, he's 6 foot. He's a bigger back. Doesn't have like the breakaway speed that you have with like a Jalen Wright in this class. But I think he's very similar to a Tyon Evans. So I don't know how it's going to work out. You do lose Carlin Fields and me. You do lose Tim Jordan, Ty Chandler next year. So you have guys that you're losing, guys that you want to fill those voids.
It's still going to make the roster interesting, but that's also good. That's why we go get quarterbacks. So
yeah, and the best player plays. Like it's not like we're not going to recruit to not hurt somebody's feelings.
Right. And kind of on that same note, D. Mike Willie said, "Do you guys think we will hang on to all these commits?" I mean, you just got to assume it's called a commit. They're not signed yet. Like you just have to assume you're going to lose a few. You kind of hope you don't at least lose the guys who are the backbones of this class. With Cody Brown committing after everyone, he doesn't seem like to be one of those guys. The same can be said for De'Shawn Rucker. Obviously, you don't want to lose recruits. It's just the way you don't want to lose them. Mm-hmm. But it happens. It's the way it goes. You may go get another running back, and he goes looking for better options. Same for safety. So you expect to lose a few commits, just like, especially with the new transfer rules, you expect that you mentioned how all these backs are going to be back there, and it's going to be a fight. Expect one of them to transfer. Yeah. It's just how the way it works. Hopefully we get the best guy on the field. We get to see that, and we move on.
Yeah, I think the big thing with this is just look at Jeremy Pruitt, and since he's been here, he's not got a ton of decommits, and he's not lost a ton of guys in the program. Right. Guys that
play,
contribute.
Yeah. Yes. And that's a good thing. And you may, in the future, you may see some guys leave that are contributing. I think as long as you got to look at each situation one by one. If they are contributing, if they're not contributing, you can almost chalk it up to playing time, almost always. Yeah. To them transferring. But other than that, you got to look at it case by case. And like you stated, Jeremy Pruitt hasn't lost a lot of contributors to transferring or. Mm-hmm. Even the NFL, which I know we haven't had a ton of draft eligible guys, but even the NFL draft, no one's jumping the gun to leave early.
Right. Yeah, not a ton of decommitments. I think the last one was the only guy, I can't remember his name, at Marietta, the edge rusher.
Jay Hardy?
No, Marietta.
Where's Hardy's from? Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hope you guys know who we're talking about too. Yeah. If not, Landon will pull that name up.
Yeah, I think it comes down to that. You just got to carry that momentum into the season. You got to win football games. If you win football games, I think the staff has it's B.J. Ojolari. That's who I'm thinking of. Yep. The guys on the staff they've proven that they have great relationships with a bunch of these guys. Even if they don't pick Tennessee at the end of it, I feel like it's never like a bad breakup.
Right.
The Jay Hardy one was the only one that was very strange. He didn't even decommit. He just committed to Auburn and signed, and we didn't know it. But yeah, I think it's this whole staff does a great job of just keeping guys in here. And even when we lost to BYU and Georgia State, we didn't see a ton of guys in that class just leave.
Right.
I mean, there was some that was like, hey, my options are still open, and that's to be expected. But you didn't see guys just leave out Tennessee from there.
Right, which is good. I mean, you're competing for some of the best, and now it seems to be maybe landing some of the best.
Yeah. I mean, there's something brewing in Knoxville, and I think the whole country is starting to take notice on it.
You kind of have to – I know we want to be back in Neyland. I know we want all this to end, but we kind of have to, I think, ask ourselves, is it worth being miserable to be getting all these guys? If we win a national championship next year and we can't be in any games, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Exactly. So
great.
I need everybody to kind of sit back. I know it sucks. I know we're getting restless. I know we want to be in Neyland. I've dreamt about a tailgate this week. Like, that's how much I miss it.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember like one dream a month, which if anybody knows anything about dreams, is that unhealthy? Because I feel like I've heard it is. But
if you can only remember, or if you have the same dream.
I don't have the same dream. I do have the same nightmare. The only nightmare I have is always the same nightmare.
Oh, that's weird.
I feel like someone's going to be like, yeah, that means you're, and say something crazy.
Psychotic.
Yeah, it's like, that means you're definitely going to do something crazy. But no, I did dream about being at a tailgate, and it was good. It was, as always, it was good. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I should say regardless. Let's say we get to the 2020 season, and there's no fans. Don't worry. We'll be tailgating.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
For sure.
No, don't worry about it. Obviously, Cody Brown and De'Shawn Rucker, the two guys we just talked about, are huge additions. Obviously, you want to hang on to them in the class. Tennessee, you can use 4 stars, 5 stars, all of it, because those guys are talented, like you said. You don't get there without being talented. Yes, you have to develop that talent and eventually turn it into wins, but you got to start by getting them on campus. Tennessee's done half the battle in terms of getting their verbal commitment, get that letter signed in December, and get them on campus. Nowadays, it's like the letter hardly means anything too. You got to get them on campus.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is we're doing all this during a pandemic. It's basically like a period where they can only have contact. They can't visit. There's no coaching visits. There's nothing like that. It's literally just Zoom calls and texts and things like that. So the fact that we did this week during this whole coronavirus thing is incredible.
Right, and I think that boils down to relationships. You talked about that, and Tennessee does a phenomenal job with relationships. Who are the guys calling consistently? Not constantly, but consistently. Mm-hmm. Who are the guys checking in consistently? But I think that kind of goes back to what Terrence Lewis said. That was one of the big things. Brian Niedermeyer seems to care about winning football games, but also care more than just that. So that's good to see. So Terrence Lewis, obviously a great addition. Tylen Evans, I like Tylen Evans. I'm curious to see what his rating's at when that JUCO rating comes out.
Mm-hmm. Probably be a 4-star, if I had to guess. If he stays at the number 2.
Yeah, and I want to see some measurables for him. I didn't see any measurables. He looks pretty fast. I'd like to see a 40 time just for fun. I know it doesn't mean everything, but it's still good. It's good to see a number.
Yeah,
it's fun to see a number.
And all these recruits out of state, they're not one has been in state.
And we have the number 1 in Florida and Alabama right now, right?
Yes.
And potentially, who's the number 1 Georgia guy? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you. I can click on it right now. I expect you to know. It's Amarius Mims.
Okay.
And he's committed to Georgia?
No, he's not.
He's not committed, so he's just getting a bunch of crystal balls?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a fun.
It's between us and Georgia. I mean, he's another one that this whole
I'm sure
Terrence Lewis and Kamara Wilcoxon have been going after.
I'm sure if he decommits from Georgia and goes to Tennessee, Georgia didn't want him.
No, yeah.
Georgia didn't want him. Yeah, because dude, I can't wait for. I'm not saying Kirby Smart's going to be a terrible SEC coach, but I cannot wait to see them missing on he's not. They think he's the next Saban. No, he's not. You know who he's the next? Mark Rick. That's exactly who he is.
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
and that's
Mark
what he's
Rick
always.
with hair.
That's the only two ways he can go. I mean, I guess he could be
he could be a terrible coach.
worse, but like that's kind of where he's stuck right now.
And I think Mark Rick's good and was good at Georgia. So like, I don't think Georgia's getting like the bad end of the stick there. They're just getting some what we call that's not even really karma because it probably would be worse for them if it was karma, but it's just like irony, I guess. Get some good irony.
Yep,
I like it.
Yeah, the whole Jake Fromm and getting rid of Justin Fields and Jacob Eason, that could have been me. One thing I do want to mention with Terrence Lewis, he's the first 5-star outside linebacker since Kevin Simon in 2001 that Tennessee's gotten in the class.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yep.
Yeah, we mentioned that they were just guys like not in state. Like this, we talked about the in-state crop is just not as strong as it was last year. We're getting guys that's like not only are they being considered for like these states that we're pulling them out of, like they're considered lean. Like national media is picking them to go to these schools, and we're taking them from them.
Yep.
In the middle of a pandemic. Like where they have to stay at home.
Everybody's scared about Corona. Should be scared about the balls.
I guess they're just like, I can't be at home anymore. I got to get out of the state. I'm going to Tennessee. Maybe that's what it is.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good with staying here. So
right. If I need to. Yeah. For the better of Tennessee football, gladly.
Yeah.
Gladly.
But Kamar Wilcoxon, he's got to be the recruiter of the year, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he looks – he's not the highest rated guy in this class, but he looks like a freaking steal.
Yeah.
Like, he's a steal of the draft right now.
I mean especially, like, not only for his abilities, but if he's able to go out and get all these other guys, I mean –
yeah,
he's gonna be.
And I think
you're gonna get more than you bargained for.
That's part of this class. And maybe social media wasn't just so prevalent back when Butch Jones was here, but I didn't see like there wasn't. I didn't feel like the players and the staff were on the same page all the time, like I do with this staff.
Butch had that his first year, that 1 year with the legacy class where guys were going out and recruiting.
Right.
And I mean, I remember one that stood out to me. Like Brian Randolph was like hosting recruits pretty much. Like, I mean, obviously they had to go through Tennessee, but like pretty much by himself. Like he was the one touring them around and
Byron Moore was like that too.
Or maybe it's Byron Moore, not Brian Randolph.
Yeah.
It wasn't Brian Randolph. I apologize. Yeah. Byron Moore. Well, I guess Brian Randolph could have been, but Byron Moore was on Twitter doing it. And he was doing a good job of like trying to make Tennessee better. And you need guys like that.
But Tennessee's got a whole lot of them. Like Harrison Bailey's doing. That's one thing for me is like this whole JT Daniels thing is coming up, but Harrison Bailey seems like he's 100% with Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're, I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't.
Or maybe he's just ready to compete. You got to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Got to appreciate
Absolutely.
it. We're going to go to a short break real quick. We're going to bring Billy Ratliff back with us. We're going to be talking about his days as a Vol, his days now as a VFL, and his shows with Volunteer Roadshow and Morning Chat. So we'll be right back. Stick with us.